Hey guys, there's this one poster going around online about the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act 2024, which was signed by President Ruto on October 15, 2025. And I have to confess, as much as we disagree with some of the things that the government does, we have to understand that it is wiser to give constructive criticism rather than criticism alone. I don't think a poster like this one is paying attention to the relevant details of the bill itself. For example, this guy has said here that what the law says. If anything you post online, a tweet, comment, video, blog post, meme, or DM is considered to cause serious emotional distress, mental harm, or could make someone contemplate suicide, you can be charged with cyber harassment. It doesn't matter whether you used your real name or an anonymous account, as long as authorities say your message caused harm, you may be liable. Allow me first to say that this is not what the law says. This is what a section of the law says. It's a long bill, but this online poster has taken a section of the law itself to make the criticism. Allow me to read the actual law so that we don't have any misrepresentation of or many misusage of words. Under the section of cyber harassment, it says a person who, individually or with other persons, willfully communicates either directly or indirectly with another person or anyone known to that person, commits an offense if they know or ought to know that their conduct A is likely to cause those persons apprehension or fear of violence to them or damage or loss on that person's property, or B detrimentally affects that person, or C is in whole or part of an indecent or grossly offensive nature and affects the person. A person who commits an offense under subsection 1 is liable, on conviction, to a fine not exceeding 20 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years, or both. That is what the law says in light of what the posters are actually trying to communicate. And I don't think what the poster actually says, because when we go back to the poster, it is trying to mean that the freedom of expression online, people will be snatched that freedom from them. And I think this is a misrepresentation of what the law is actually trying to say. And this section below, it says that the law also gives wide new powers to the NCCC, that is the committee that is responsible for cybercrimes. They can order your page, website, or app to be blocked in Kenya, even without going to court first. See, I don't see the problem with this because people think that this is a major deal. And the reason why I said it's a section of the law which is true is because the law covers a lot of things like identity theft, promotion of child pornography, terrorism, extreme religious cult practices. These are all undesirable fields in a society, and rejecting this bill of law is also rejecting those things that are being addressed in the society. And I understand why this person might bring this sort of concern. The first criticism I might be compelled to make is that it does not clarify what detrimental means, having detrimental effects to the other person. In short, it doesn't clarify what sort of effect is enough to make someone liable. And the second criticism I might be compelled to make is it hasn't clarified whether it's a person who is going to report that a comment has had a detrimental effect on that person, or whether the authority themselves are the ones who are going to decide, you know what, this comment is bad. It might have had a negative effect on that person. Therefore, you are liable. Come here. You need 20 million shillings or jail 10 years. There is no clarification how this will be approached, because you might say something that would never have a detrimental effect on me, but the law comes for you. That thing has not had a detrimental effect on me, but it has come for you. The law has come for you. The committee, the NCCC, determining that that comment has had a detrimental effect on a person on behalf of that person. That seems a little. And if we were to explore that concept on a deeper level from a more philosophical, ethical, and moral perspective, there basically is no reason for you to comment badly to a person whom you don't know on a personal level. See, I made this classic example to someone today about me being with a friend. When I'm with my friends, I can use any kind of language because I know this person on a personal level, and I know the kind of vulgar language that I can use because I know this person on a personal level, that the, the language itself might not have a negative effect on their life to the point of maybe mental illness or contemplating committing suicide. But someone online, you don't know this person on a personal level, and you don't know how that person will receive that message. So there is no point of using vulgar language online. So in part, I'm in favor of this law because it is promoting a kind of decent culture. People who see whatever they are saying that is coming from their mind and to the mouth. You don't just say anything or type anything. It is actually promoting a kind of a thinking society, a place where you think before you act. Besides, there is also the option of court. It's not like you're being taken from your home direct to prison. The only thing that they are doing is taking down your comments or your app or your whatever before you go to court. But there's the option of court. And the reason I bring this up is I once had a conversation with a lawyer. We were having a conversation about free will, and I happened to ask him, when you are dealing with a case, for example, a case for murder, what are the main things that you look for in a case? Because there are a lot of reasons why someone might murder someone. There are a lot of reasons why you might kill someone. He told me a very good point. He said that they, they look for whether you had premeditated the murder itself. And this is a very important point because one thing I know about jail is that they don't isolate you for the sake of the punishment itself alone. It's because they have seen you have the tendency, you have a potential of repeating that act in the future. So it is better for you to be isolated from the rest of the society for for the betterment of the society itself. The reason I'm saying all of this is if you didn't mean to have a detrimental effect on this person via that comment or whatever, there's a chance of you being liberated. But if you had that intention, that says more a lot about you and not about the person you are trying to have a negative effect on. If you are clean, justice will be served. But before we get there, let's normalize a culture of constructive criticism and thinking before we do things online, because these are people. We are all human beings. No matter who you are, there's a big chance of being affected negatively by a negative comment because of, in psychology, something we call negativity bias. So in conclusion, in my opinion, I think we should view this whole scenario as much as we want freedom of expression. I can't wake up tomorrow and decide to walk 50 kilometers completely naked in the middle of town just because I have freedom of expressing myself. I'm expressing my body and body love and loving your own skin and embracing your body. I can't do that. That is indecent exposure. That is, what is it called in law terms? I don't know. Something to do with kids, that exposure. There are a lot of reasons why that is not a reasonable thing to do, as much as I have the freedom to do that. And this is the same case with these comments and saying these vulgar things, because as much as I have the freedom of expressing my views, I shouldn't just say anything. This is the essence, I think, of this bill, and I think this is even something that is should be culturally natural. It doesn't even need a law for it to be a thing. We need to be people with dignity and a sense of self-worth and self-respect. And someone who has these things internally wouldn't find themselves doing that kind of thing. And it's sad that we have reached a place where a bill has to be passed for people to stop doing that. Yes, we live in a democracy, but we also need a decent culture, something that is presentable.